In this video, you're going to learn how to grow popcorn shoot microgreens from start to finish. I grow and sell these to chefs every week, and I've found a method to grow them consistently and have them look the same way every week. After watching this video, you're going to be able to do the same thing. I'm Brian Faulkner, and I'm here to help you start a microgreens business out of your own home quickly and hassle-free. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to grow popcorn shoots and the secret to getting the popcorn shoots this beautiful yellow colour, and then how you can make sure that you harvest them before they turn bitter. So do stay tuned for all of that. So let's get straight into it. And to grow popcorn shoots from start to finish, it's going to take about 10 days, and that's based on having a temperature of 20 to 22 degrees Celsius in your grow room or 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's a little bit hotter in your grow room, it might take 9 days, and if it's a little bit colder, it might take you 11 days. The directions I'm going to give in this video are for a standard 10 by 20 inch tray of popcorn microgreens. And I'm going to show you two different ways that you can grow these with basic microgreens equipment that you might already have. To start, on day one, the first thing that you're going to do is soak your popcorn seeds. And I generally don't soak any seeds because I find that it's usually just a waste of time. But with popcorn microgreen seeds, I found that they just germinate better when you soak them beforehand. So it is worth taking that bit of extra time with popcorn seeds to soak them first. The first thing to do is to measure out the seed, and I recommend using 250 grams of popcorn seeds per 10 by 20 inch tray. I'm planting 2 trays for this video, so I'll be using double of everything. So 500 grams for me for the 2 trays. After you have the seed weighed out, fill your container up with water so the seed can absorb the water. And leave them soaking in that water for somewhere between 12 and 24 hours. These seeds here that I'm using, they got soaked for close to 24 hours. After they've been soaked, the next thing to do is to drain off the water. So now when we measure our seed again, it has actually gained 154 grams in weight. So that's the weight of the water that the seeds have absorbed. And now I've split the seeds in half for my 2 trays. Next thing now, we've got to get the trays ready for planting. So you're going to need a tray with holes and a tray with no holes. The tray with holes goes inside the tray with no holes, so water can be absorbed up through the holes and into the roots. These are bootstrap farmer trays, and they're really good trays for growing microgreens in because they're hard wearing and they're also nice and shallow, which makes harvesting easier. There's links for these trays and some other options in the description below. Next thing to do then is to fill the trays with about 1 inch to 1/4 of an inch of really nice fine soil. You want to break up the clumps and smooth it all out as best you can with your hands. The next thing to do then is to press the soil down with something. So what I'm using here, it's homemade, so it's just a piece of wood with a door handle screwed to it. And a little pro tip, so the tape that's on the underside of it, that stops seed and soil getting stuck to the wood when they might be damp. So press all of that down then nice and flat. Then you're going to get your soaked seeds and spread them out all over the tray as evenly as possible. So use the whole tray, get it into the corners, and do your best to try not have the seeds on top of each other. So try and keep a small bit of distance between each one. Once you've done that, press the seeds down into the soil with something. So if you don't have something like what I have here, maybe you could use something like a book or anything you can get your hands on really to put some pressure on these seeds. When that's done, you're going to give the tray a decent amount of water. So water the soil until it's nice and damp but not soggy. And this is also going to help clean any soil off of the seeds too. The next thing to do then is to stack these trays on top of each other, and after that I'm going to put these trays somewhere into darkness. And that is the secret to getting your popcorn shoots this beautiful yellow colour. It's darkness. So I grow these popcorn shoots in that wardrobe over there for their whole grow cycle because it's pitch dark in there, so they get no light, they don't produce chlorophyll then, and that's why they don't turn green. But even if they get a small bit of light, they will start to turn green, and we don't want that because chefs want them to look yellow because they look great like that. That's the way they want them to look, and they also taste good like that too. If you don't have somewhere like that wardrobe to keep the trays in the dark. You can also cover the trays with a black plastic bag, and that will keep the light away just as good too. So when you're putting the trays into darkness, put another tray on top of your seeds and then put some weight on the tray. This is the same for one tray as it is for two, so it keeps the seeds pressed into the soil and it doesn't let the roots push the seeds up out of the soil. I'm going to close this up then, and I'm not going to go near it again until day 5. So this is day 5 and I'm going to take a look. I'm going to take the weight off and check the trays out. So we've got plenty of germination here. It doesn't look too good, but it is fine. Popcorn microgreens, they look pretty bad right until the end of the whole grow cycle, and then they change pretty quickly. I'm going to stack these back up again because they need about another day stacked. So here we are now on day 7 and I'm going to unstack these today. So you can see here the popcorn shoots, they're pushing up the tray with the weight in it. And to be honest, I probably should have unstacked these yesterday. Because for popcorn shoots, this is just a little bit too long stacked because the shoots, they're actually quite brittle. So they're not as strong at pushing stuff up as say radish or sunflower. So this is what we're looking at on day 7 and they still don't look very good. They actually look kind of terrible. And if you look closely here, you can actually see a little bit of mold on a couple of the seeds. And popcorn seeds, they're actually prone to getting a little bit of mold, but generally, if it's just down at the seeds like this, it's not usually a problem because you'll be harvesting the shoots well above this. So I actually still haven't watered these yet since I planted them. So I'm just checking them here to see how the soil is and see if it's still moist. And it is, so I won't be watering them right now. So now I'm going to put this empty tray over one of these trays like a dome because I'm going to show you an alternative way that you can grow these in the dark without having a wardrobe like I have or without a blackout dome. I'm going to put my other tray back into the wardrobe, back into darkness. Then with this tray, I'm going to take one of these black bin liners and I'm going to put it around the trays loosely. And I'm doing this because eventually the popcorn shoots will grow tall and they'll push this top tray up and let light in. And the stems are going to go green then and we don't want that. So by having it all covered with the bag loosely, the shoots will be able to still push the tray up, but no light will hit them. So I'm just going to put this out of the way now and we wait. So here we are now on day 8 and things are starting to look a little bit better. So there's a tinge of yellow there, but we're still a ways off and we've still got a bit of a wait. While you're waiting, maybe you already know this or maybe you don't, but you can actually use these exact same seeds that we use for growing popcorn shoots to make yourself some popcorn. So you can make yourself some popcorn to watch the YouTube video on making popcorn shoots, or you can have it while watching these to grow to make it a little bit more entertaining. Anyway, you've got to wait another couple of days for them to be ready. And here we are on day 10 and these are done now, so I'm going to take them, I'm going to give you a good look at them. So these are looking good, and this part that's actually yellow, it really only shoots up like this in the last few days of the grow cycle. I actually haven't had to water these since I planted them, so they received no water at all since the day that they were planted. And also, just so you know, they're under lights right now, but they never usually go under lights, they're literally only under here, so they're visible for the video. So let's also check on our alternative method and see how that's doing. So I'm going to just take these out of the bag here and I'm going to be gentle while I'm doing it, well, as gentle as I can be, and they're not looking too bad. They don't look as good as the other tray that was in the wardrobe, and they've looked better than this before when I've done it this way before. So let's have a look at harvesting these. So they're about 6 to 7 inches tall here, but you're not going to harvest them down here. You're going to harvest them a bit further up the stem, about here, and you want to harvest them there because this is the part that the chef actually wants. So this stalky part here, this is not really good to anybody, so no one wants that on their plate, and it doesn't taste good either. So here just above the white part of the stem is where you want to harvest them, and I actually use a scissors for this, so I find it easier than a knife, but you can play around with that and see which way you want to try it and see which way you prefer. And with a 10 by 20 tray like this, you can expect to harvest somewhere between 250 and 300 grams of popcorn microgreens from a tray like this. When you harvest them, have a little taste of them because they actually taste pretty sweet, and chefs use them on sweet and savoury dishes. So some people actually can't stand the taste of them. I kind of like them myself, but if you let them grow too long, they actually become really coarse and they start to taste a little bit like eating grass. So we don't want that. So try and harvest them somewhere between the 9th and the 11th day, and when they're pretty much looking like this. So that's the best time to harvest them. If you try this out, if you try growing these, let me know in the comments below this video whether or not you like the taste of popcorn shoots and how you would describe the taste of them. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss more videos like this in the future. And if you like the idea of selling these popcorn shoots to some chefs, I have a free beginner's guide on how to start a microgreens business. And if you want to get that, you can head over to microgreensentrepreneur.com/ebook. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. No, can't describe it. I've no palate.